Warning! This podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the SC on TV podcast for the originals, Season 3, Episode 13, Heart-Shaped Box. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me are Dom.
What a lovely Valentine's Day episode this would have made.
They would've. And Kim.
Sure. And hi!
Yeah.
There's nothing like saying, I love you, like taking your heart.
And ripping it out of your chest.
And putting it in a box.
A Nirvana box.
Mm-hmm. So, this was an interesting episode. It was a good episode. Two kind of major plot lines here we had going. One is the whole Aurora now has a gun that shoots white oak bullets and wants to kill Elijah and or Klaus.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is, yeah, because she's a crazy psycho bitch. And her face makes me irrationally angry still. That crazy smile. And the other plot is Aya wants to unlink the sire lines by any means necessary.
I love that you just get through explaining that it is an irrational hatred and then find a rational reason for hating it.
It's a smile. It's her eyes. She's got a crazy
smile.
bitch. Crazy bitch eyes.
I'm just trying to
Crazy
find a
bitch.
reason because I don't like being irrationally angry at stuff. So maybe it's the eyes, maybe it's the face, maybe it's the crazy bitch. Personality?
Fluorescent bright red hair.
Their hair's red.
Wait. Are you just stuck on the crazy bitch face? Or is that what's going on?
Yes, her hair is red. It's been red since she came onto the
Like
show.
bright red. Like
Well, hold on. Mike is colorblind, so.
It's
Good point.
the color of red I must mistake for a kind of brown.
It's possible.
Wait,
Shit.
so this cup is brown?
Shh. In that lighting, yes.
Well, yeah, it is a little dark. I'll give you that.
Okay. So when you play beer pong, those red solo cups, those are brown solo cups?
No,
to you?
they're red solo cups. They're bright fucking red.
Well,
Okay.
so is her hair.
The only way I can tell that bright red hair is bright red is if it's in direct sunlight and I'm holding it in my hand and I'm that close. Otherwise, it looks like a weird shade of brown. To the point where I don't question it. I'm like, oh, she has brown hair. No, that hair is red.
What is this tissue box? Is this red? Or is this envelope red?
The tissue box is red.
You sure?
Yes.
The envelope actually looks kind of orange in the light.
And the
Wait, I got one
envelope
too.
looks orange in the
Wait,
light.
I got one too.
Oh my god. How did this devolve into... Anyway, so...
What color is Bee's hair?
Red.
Now, is it because you know that, or is it because
It's because I know that.
Okay.
Anyway! Aurora kidnaps Freya. Perfect bait for the brothers Mikealson. Yeah. Shoots her in the stomach and buries her in a coffin.
Yeah. Well, buries a couple coffins.
More than a couple.
Just one or two.
A couple dozen.
I don't know how she had time to do all of that.
She had to have compelled a bunch of people to help her. Because, I mean... Unless, you know what, she pre-planned this. She dug buried all of these coffins and just had the one prepared for, Freya to throw in.
I feel like she did. I feel like this was already set up and she just buried one.
It would have had to have been because she didn't look dirty.
Yeah. And there's no way she could have, it's not like the vampire. Like, yeah, it helps dig a hole being a vampire, you're not going to get tired because digging 6 feet, digging a hole for a coffin by hand is tiring.
Mm-hmm.
But,
That whole coffin thing was kind of annoying for me because it's like, all right, she's sitting under the ground. She's squirming. She's whatever. She's making noise. She's hitting things. Klaus is a vampire. He
Can he
should
hear
be
it?
able to hear this.
Her breathing.
Her heartbeat.
Hearing
can
anything.
smell-
Panicking heartbeat.
He could smell her blood when he was like a good, what? How far do you think he was away from that house?
Couple miles.
Maybe those flowers were throwing something off the scent. I mean, I don't know.
The scent, yes, I could get that. Okay, the
Maybe,
flowers maybe are covering up the scent, but that doesn't stop the noise or anything like that.
3 feet of dirt might, even with a super vampire.
I doubt it.
Well, anyway, he's after that, and Elijah goes to investigate the barn. Or the building. Was it a barn? I think it was
Sorry.
a barn.
It was a cabin in the woods.
A cabin, I don't know.
It was the cabin in the woods.
And lo and behold, there's Aurora with the gun. Has Elijah cornered. And I'm just thinking to myself, please don't kill off Elijah this episode. Please don't. Just don't kill off Elijah at all, please.
You were nice about it. I was like, no, Elijah, no!
Oh no, that's my reaction now that I've had a few hours to decompress and calm the fuck down. I was, at the moment, I was just like... I have my hand hovering over the X, like I'm watching it in my browser. I have my hand hovering over the X, waiting for it to happen, and just be like, nope, go in the shower now.
When she actually shot him, I was gonna die. I was dying. I was like, no, 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 no,
Well,
no.
you know, she was waiting for Klaus to show up, so he would be forced to watch Elijah die. Because, you know, why kill Elijah if you can't, you know, torture Klaus with it?
Is Elijah's heart in like... Is he one of those irregular beings where his heart is on the opposite side of his body?
No, she hit him in the right side of the chest.
Yeah, but when Klaus went to dig his hand into it and to his chest, it was a little funny.
Yeah, it was a little funny, but no, she clearly hit him in the right side of the chest. He was fine. You know, for a vampire.
Okay.
But, the first time, you know, she shot at him. How many bullets does she have, first off? They kind of didn't mention a set number.
Tell us.
I mean, you would assume 6. Because it's a revolver.
That's how many she has in the barrel of the gun presently.
But how many total did she have made for her? Because they never said a number. And they never, like they showed a bunch of them, but they never showed a clear, concise number. Probably because they want to keep that vague, because she's now missed, what, 3 times?
I thought your heart was on the left.
It is.
So why was he going in on the right?
Because he got the bullet in the right side.
Okay. The bullet is okay, I can't, if I had to stand up, it's like here. When you're taught to shoot, you shoot center mass. So that's where she shot at, was center mass.
Well, technically your heart is dead center between your left and right lungs, but it's
right.
Positioned
if
more
you want
to
it
the
to be a
left-hand
kill,
side.
if you want it to be a kill shot, you want to hit it on the left-hand side.
Right.
You want to hit center of mass because that's where you're more likely to do a lot of damage, because you got heart, lungs, blood
Correct.
vessels, spinal column. You're going to hit something vital. So that's why you aim center of mass. And also, it's just, you know, even if you miss, you're still hitting something.
Yeah,
Right.
But she did aim slightly to the shoot. But when he went to dig in, it was center mass, just to the little bit to the left.
He was digging on the right-hand side, though.
Well, that's where it looked like she
Yeah, but
hit
your
him.
heart's on the left, so
I'm aware.
that whole thing was getting me all aggravated.
He was digging the bullet out, not his heart out. The bullet.
The bullet was in his heart.
No, the bullet wasn't. The bullet was in his heart. He
The
was
bullet
dead.
didn't make it all the way to the heart, but it was going.
He said
Like,
it was at the heart, and with every beat, it drew closer.
Yes, it was at. It
Every-
wasn't in. It
at-
was near.
Right,
Yeah,
so
with
you would
every
have to
beat.
go on the
Why are we
left
arguing
side, not
about
the
this?
right.
He's not
I
dead.
don't know.
He should be.
Oh my god. Rewatch the scene. It hit him. The bullet hole was clearly on the right. Anyway.
Right. Well, my whole
Left.
point was he shouldn't have been in any danger. It shouldn't have been anywhere near his heart then.
They needed to, you know, create tension. I'm going to yell something B just yelled in the Vampire Diaries. You know, it's TV storytelling.
TV mechanics.
Thank
Just get
you.
over it.
Television mechanics. And
I'm I'm going to move my heart to my right side.
Hooser. Impossible surgery. Anyway, let's get on to the other part of this episode, which is Aya trying to unlink the sire lines. Because she came dangerously close to dying this episode, if Elijah was that close to dying. Yeah. Her and the Strix were close to extinction, and I wonder if she's aware of how close.
See, going back to something before, your wife in chat says, no, Mike, Klaus had heard clear across sections of the city before. 3 feet of loose soil is not going to stop him from hearing.
Yeah, loose soil is the dense sound. I can get into the physics of it, but
I think when he went to the first, he just kind of was like, dirt. He didn't think, didn't look, he was just like, find her. And then after he dug up the first one and went, fuck, and like looked across and went, But she immediately at that moment in time is when the blood started trickling up and he goes, oh, that's where she is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't a time or thought process to go, I should think, or I should listen, or I should smell, or I should do whatever. It was just
Find her. Find her before she bleeds out and dies, and find her before Aurora sneaks up behind me and shoots me. There is that. So the whole thing with Aya is she wants Davina and her little coven of Strix witches to find and cast the spell. Well, Davina, gives this nice explanation. I studied Esther's grimoire. I know how it all works. She did things her own way. She had a flair to her. And, the only person who would know the binding agent, the secret ingredient, would be someone who, performs magic like her. It's like, let me guess, Kol Mikealson. I just love this whole scene of back and forth between them. It's like, all right, I'll cast a spell, but you got to bring back Kol because he knows this last ingredient. She's like, fine, I'll bring back Kol as a ghost with this candle. It's like,
damn it.
Fine, I'll talk to Kol, but I'll only cast a spell if you bring him back permanently. Just, yeah.
Meanwhile, Cole's like, absolutely not. Don't have any involvement with them.
Cole's just
Get
like,
out of here.
I'll stay dead. I'll take my chances with the ancestors. And the whole time Davina's just doing it on her own, and Cole's like, no, don't do it, please, not telling you, please shut the fuck up. And neither of them realized that Io would have figured out a way to listen in. Really?
I don't think anyone thinks.
No, nobody thinks in the show.
No one thinks in the show. Yeah, exactly. No one thinks in the show. They just
Everybody
go,
talks
I
about
want
their
this to happen. I want to do
schemes.
this. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Everybody has their schemes and their plans and their, plots, but nobody actually ever fucking thinks.
See, Mike, you're not the only one that thinks Aurora's crazy in chat. Heather just said, good, can't wait for the crossover episode. Aurora is crazy. Nobody tries to kill Elijah and gets away with it.
I really, really wish I had chat open right now.
That would be nice.
It would be nice. I can't open it without fucking everything up right now, though.
Good job.
Good job on me. So.
She's a crazy bitch.
Anyway, she is a crazy bitch.
Yeah, the crossover episode technically is going to be 3 years from the present, so Aurora may not even be alive.
The crossover, as in next episode, you mean?
The crossover.
Oh, the crossover.
You mean
The Vampire
full
Diaries.
crossover?
The Vampire Diaries are crossing over 3 years from now into New Orleans. So Aurora may not even be alive 3 years from now.
Very true.
Yeah. But this coming episode is not 3 years ahead.
No, this coming episode is not 3 years ahead.
Right, but Heather's talking about the crossover.
Right,
We're
I
talking
got
about
you.
the very end.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah,
I hope she's not.
Super Sleuth, Davina, that's the one. I almost said Cami, and then I'm like, no, it's not Cami, it's Haley. Nope, not that one. Davina. Super Sleuth Davina figures out that she needs the heart of an unsired vampire. But those don't exist. as immediately. And as soon as that finds out, it's like, oh, the little witch is like, here, Aya, take this, look, the heart of an unsired vampire.
See, I don't understand how that all works, like the logistics of this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Haley's a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
She gets down and dirty with Klaus,
Mm-hmm.
who makes a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
The baby
Is a hybrid vampire.
is a hybrid
Right.
in her belly.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
The hybrid being Klaus's bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Baby then turns Haley into vampire
Correct.
Via Klaus's
Which-
bloodline.
via Klaus's bloodline. How is she unsired?
Because my only guess is because she was turned by a different method.
Yeah. So she wasn't turned by Klaus directly.
It wasn't the standard turn the vampire method.
I guess.
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't like it.
I don't like
I
it.
like the concept.
Technically, it was Klaus's bloodline that sired her.
Right.
But, I mean,
She wasn't bitten.
she wasn't fed vampire blood and then
Yeah.
killed. Like, not in the traditional sense. So I'm guessing that's where they're going with it. I mean, in the Dom, I agree with you. It is kind of flimsy.
Yeah, I like the concept. I like the whole, the unsired heart. It just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense to me.
Well, as I wrote down here, how convenient for the plot that the only unsired vampire in history just happens to be in New Orleans and living in Klaus's house.
Yeah, see now, Jackson's heart makes a little more sense to me. Because yes, it is a
I like
mirror
that.
image of Haley's heart,
Right.
but it technically is not part of the bloodline.
Mm-hmm. So
So
Jackson's
Jackson's heart
makes
should
more sense.
technically be the only one that works.
That does make more sense, and I like that better.
Correct. Yeah, it would be
Because-
he would be the only one.
Because
not
he
her.
became a vampire through some crazy magical joining ritual and not an actual... He never died. Jackson just took on the properties of vampirism through that ritual,
spell.
through
Yeah.
that spell.
Oh,
He never actually died or anything like that.
Omikins and Heather are going back and forth in chat. And there's Omikins said it was Hope who sired her mother. No, since Hope isn't dead, she's her own supernatural entity.
Good
Heather
point.
said yes, you're correct. She did sire Haley, but they have their loopholes for the sake of the story, I guess.
But yeah, of course they're going to have loopholes for the sake of the story. But you know what? You're right. Hope
Should we
is
go back to TV show
technically-
mechanics?
Yeah, Hope is alive. She is not an undead creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's still a hybrid, which is part vampire, part werewolf, and the vampire part is Klaus's bloodline, which is still Klaus's bloodline. So
Mechanics.
I
But
feel
was
like
born, but she's different because she's born instead of being dead. I think it's a whole bit.
me personally, my headcanon is going to go with if they actually took Haley's heart out of her chest, it wouldn't have worked. And Jackson's heart is the only one that works. That's my headcanon. That's the only way I'm going to be able to make it through this without dying of inaccuracies.
Well, they're
Alright.
using his heart anyway, so it doesn't matter.
They're
Right.
using it anyway. So they find all this out, and they have to track, Aya sends her witches to kill Haley, who is trying to teach Cami how to fight, using, fight like a vampire.
Just in case.
Because Haley made a good point, yeah, you can keep your trinkets and your baubles and all that stuff, but, you're kind of useless without them.
She needed to learn how to be who she was.
Yeah, I mean,
She was still seeing herself as human,
mhm.
so she needed all these funny things and all this little trinkets, whatever. She forgot that even though yes, you're a newer vampire, and yes, you are weaker compared to other vampires, you're still a vampire. You're not hopeless.
And learning how
Stop
to
seeing yourself as hopeless.
and learning how to fight will definitely help.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that all works well. Marcel comes in and, makes a little deal with Aya. And that's a kind of a weird, Aya was all on this Marcel's our new boss train last episode. And this is one episode later. And she's all like, she breaks her boss's neck in order to go off and get to Haley. She basically tells him, if you don't bring me another solution by midnight, I'm going to kill you. Like, is this any way to treat your new boss, your new leader?
I don't think she really. I think
I don't
this
think...
over surpasses that. She's got a one set. Her brain is just, this is what I want. Fuck everything else.
I mean, we got more proof that she's out for her.
She thinks she's above the law.
Yeah, and I mean,
and I think that's
she's
true.
just out for herself. All this talk about loyalty and for the Strix and all that stuff, no, it's bullshit. She is looking out for Aya and no one else.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as she realizes this spell is going to go off, you know, they have Jackson's heart, they're going to make it work, and unlink the sidelines. As soon as that happens, she's teaming up with Aurora, who she knows has the number one goal of killing Elijah right now.
Elijah and Klaus and all still want them all to die. And this
Elijah
way they don't-
first. Yeah, and so Aya is teaming up with her immediately. As soon as she realizes, okay, the Mikealsons can die without me having any worry whatsoever. Time to conspire to kill them.
She's bitter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bitter over Elijah.
It's a much more devastating duo than like her and Tristan.
Yeah, because her and Tristan had their issues.
They didn't see eye to eye. Her and Aya are gonna have Aurora and Aya are gonna have like this great common ground that they're looking for.
Girl power.
Except there's gonna be a bit of a power struggle if something doesn't go Aya's way.
Oh yeah, but it's also
Very
the
true.
whole concept of women scorn. They both are, you know,
They got that.
Yeah, but
with Elijah, none with Klaus.
Aurora seems like yeah, she wants her thing done and whatever, but she seems like she's willing to like be a little reasonable about it and be like, okay, well, let's assess this. This is a better plan. Let's do that. Where Aya is just like, no, do it this way or I'll fucking kill you. So
Very controlling. It's my way or the highway.
My way or the highway.
My way. She's dealing with super bitch, crazy lunatic. So I don't know. That's gonna be a little.
So, yeah. So everybody's alive, thankfully. Nobody's dead. Couple close calls.
except for Jackson.
Except for Jackson, he's still dead. He's been dead a while now.
Has it been a while? It's like been
few
less than a day.
episodes. Cole is
3
still
episodes? I thought he died last week.
Just 2
no.
episodes.
Cole is still a ghost. Finn is still in a crystal, but Freya channeled him to help out a little bit.
Yeah. Heather says bring back Cole now or next episode. I want it sooner rather than later.
I would rather it sooner. And speaking of next episode, let's read that off before we continue. Next week's episode is called A Streetcar Named Desire. Haha.
I don't want to ride that streetcar.
It took place in New Orleans, everybody, that play. That's the only thing I remember about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that Marlon Brando starred in the movie. With the threat of the prophecy looming over their heads, Klaus and Elijah find themselves rendered useless inside a magical trap, while Aya and the Strix's coven of witches move forward with a risky spell that could take one of them down for good. Elsewhere, Freya leads the charge to get her brothers back and enlists the help of Marcel, Haley, and Stefan Salvatore. An old friend of Klaus's. Yes, I think we know that. Whose unexpected arrival may be the key to their survival. That rhymes. Finally, Davina moves forward with a dangerous plan that brings her one step closer to reuniting with Kol.
Okay, so now this is confusing me.
Go on.
If Stefan is in this episode, and we just got through reading Vampire Diaries synopsis on our Vampire Diaries podcast, that Stefan is going to New Orleans to meet Klaus. That means the current New Orleans storyline is taking place 3 years
No,
in the
no,
future.
No.
This,
You're mixing things up.
yeah. This is Stefan in the current timeline of Vampire... Okay, current timeline of Vampire Diaries, right?
Okay.
He just got stabbed by Reyna. He is getting the fuck out of Dodge because he knows he now is like a gigantic homing beacon to her.
Okay.
He is running to New Orleans in the current timeline to get
Okay.
away.
So Originals is in the current timeline of Vampire Diaries.
Right now it's
not
parallel.
3 years ahead.
Okay.
It's parallel to the Caroline just gave birth to babies timeline part.
Okay.
Not the babies are 3-year-old.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
So
Okay.
Stefan is going to New Orleans in the current timeline. In the 3-year flash forward, Caroline is going to New Orleans.
Yes. So in 3 more years, we get another thing.
Caught a
Okay.
mosquito. So that's the next episode. Next episode, Klaus is going to be on Vampire Diaries, and Stefan is going to be on Originals. I mean, they're doing a little bit of a crossover
In the current timeline.
in the current timeline.
Not in 3 years.
Not in the
So
future.
the next episode of the Vampire Diaries is really an episode of the originals.
No.
Kind of.
They just, intersect a little bit. They touch butts just a little bit.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No.
No. I like the potential of the crossover.
I would like a big crossover episode.
We didn't have one last season, did we?
No. And we really haven't had
We did technically on the Vampire Diaries. We had all the originals come over and say their goodbyes to Catherine, but we didn't have an official crossover where in season 1 we had Tyler going back and forth.
We had Tyler going back and forth, and then there was... you're right, Tyler going back and forth. I would like a big crossover episode.
Well, this kind of is. It's a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You have
know.
Vampire Diaries doing next week's episode 14, and you have Originals episode 14 and continuing the story.
I know, but
And
it just
we're looking at
seems like...
the 3-year jump is also going to be tied in with, possibility being tied into.
I know, but I mean, we're just, Stefan is going to be in New Orleans and Klaus is going to guest star. And then, Originals, is going to have Stefan because he's in New Orleans. I mean, I want a big-ass crossover where both storylines completely intersect.
Well, we have a big possibility of that happening. With
If the
3-year
Vampire
jump.
Diaries ends up getting canceled, I guarantee you most of those characters will come over to the Originals.
Well played.
This is also true.
This is also true, and unless there's something bigger on that bombshell, that's our show.
I don't know. Yeah, they're leading the whole that. Now that really is. If they lead the 3-year jump into the Originals, they really could just be like, we're all the Originals now. They could just make the 2 shows back into one.
Yeah, and Omikins apparently enjoyed Cami for a little bit of this episode rather than the fuming hatred that she typically always has, because her and Haley are best buds now and
She wasn't stupid this episode.
buys drinks and stuff.
Yeah, Cami wasn't an idiot this episode.
She
Cami's
started
never
to seem
been
like
an idiot.
the old Cami. She was a little bit of the old Cami and not the raging idiotic bitch she's been the last couple episodes.
Well said.
Cami's my favorite. Not really. I like Kol.
He likes Kol. All right, then.
Like Elijah.
So,
He's not
Dom, where can the people find you other than lining up to get a room with Kol?
You can find me in Kol's bedroom at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDO what?
Oh my. Kim,
Oh,
where can we find you except, setting up the camera to record such events?
Only if Elijah's involved. Anyway, you can find me at HUFFITY, PUFFITY.
You can find me here on Twitter at Philodrin, right there. You can find us all on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Gmail, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us there for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Thank you all for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alright.
Apparently we're creating a vampire.
By Kol's bedroom, I actually meant Rebecca's.
I see.
I still meant Elijah.
Kim still wants Elijah involved.
Oh, yeah.